Dragon Ball is a pillar among all manga and anime. It is personally responsible for defining and influencing the entire shonen aesthetic, whether that means its fights, characters, or even intros. However, not every series can reign supreme for too long, and after its initial conclusion, the mantle of top shonen would stray from the stars to go to a grand pirate adventure on the seas. Though it has outsold Dragon Ball and outlasted its original continuous run, One Piece, much like its contemporaries, has still taken more than a few notes and influences from the godfather of all shonen. Here are a few One Piece characters whose personalities and aesthetics near parallel some iconic Dragon Ball characters. Brooke and Master Roshi. Though their comparisons may not exactly be easy or immediate, longtime fans can see how Brooke and Master Roshi may find an easy time getting along. They are both the eldest, most decrepit figures among their respective groups, with Master Roshi surprisingly being far older than a literally decaying skeleton. Either also has a certain weakness for the female form, often being kicked away by their female counterparts or showing the iconic, anime nosebleed, though it is baffling that Brooke can still do this. Usopp and Hercule Satan. Who says the weakest characters can't stand tall above the rest? Both Usopp and Mr. Satan have survived and made their livings in their respective series by lying their way to the top and using a variety of nifty tricks and gadgets to evade their opponents. Either has also developed a strong cult following as a result of their lies and even seem to share a certain puffy hairstyle, though Hercule is more directly rocking the afro in its totality and glory. Frankie and Android 18. Akira Toriyama's curious relationship with personality-filled robots dates back to his early days of drawing Rayleigh and Dr. Slump. He'd continuous his tradition with much grittier, more action-packed intent in Dragon Ball with the advent of his infamous androids, with Android 18 being the longest-lasting and most iconic figure. Eiichiro Oda would take a few notes from this but give it his own colorful spin by making his robot, Frankie, a cola-fueled cyborg with giant arms, an Ace Ventura-esque style, and nipple lights. While not exactly sharing the same processing power, Android 18 and Frankie are there to show that cold, hard steel can have some heartwarming soul. Sanji and Yamcha. While Yamcha isn't exactly a culinary genius like Sanji, the two have shared a similar role in being the hot-headed, conflict-driven vanguards of their respective groups, though Yamcha wouldn't really retain his high standing later on in his series. Both are relatively human characters who use hand-to-hand combat, foot-to-hand for Sanji, and martial arts to fend off their enemies. They are also both the young playboys and perverts of their groups who need a good reminding from their female compatriots every now and then of how exactly a kick to the face feels. Tony Chopper and Pooh. If there's anything that One Piece and Dragon Ball share, it's the fact that they've both made a lot of money and really enjoyed making more. One of the easiest cash grabs in Japan is to compartmentalize all of the marketing and series identity into one cute mascot character. For some time, that meant Yamcha's best friend and confidant, Pooh, a magical, cat-like creature who could shapeshift and talk. Following along similar lines, One Piece's Tony Chopper was a talking, blue-nosed reindeer who, with the help of his rumble balls, could also transform between various forms. Adorable figures within their series, Pooh and Chopper are there to bring fans fun-sized shonen adventures. Nico, Robin and Piccolo. Though fists, kicks, and lasers are at the forefront of a lot of battle shonens, that doesn't mean that there can't be some intelligence or stoicism to calm things down. That's where the more tactful and patient characters like Nico, Robin and Piccolo come in. Both were once enemies to the main characters who eventually fell into their groups. Their main roles from then on would be to observe and comment on happenings in the series, providing insight and analysis that their comrades are a little too trigger-happy to figure out for themselves. Bringing a little brain to the brawn, Nico, Robin and Piccolo are a much-needed rationale to all of the chaos. Blackbeard and Cell. No shonen series is complete without a major baddie to half all of the fun. For years, Blackbeard has been positioned as the major threat and final boss of One Piece. He's conspired against every organization that he's been a part of and has launched an entire campaign to use his hidden talent to have multiple devil fruit abilities to hunt down various devil fruit users. And while Frieza certainly stands as Dragon Ball's most iconic villain, Cell would be the closer parallel to Blackbeard given his tendency to drain the power and life force of his enemies for himself. That parallel would only be more complete if Blackbeard himself were to have different transformations and start an entire pirate tournament. Nami and Bulma share a lot of thematic elements with one another. Beyond just being the female leads, both are money-hungry treasure hunters who enlist the help of their series protagonists to use their strength. Both are also navigators in their own way, with Nami using maps and the weather to help guide the Straw Hat crew and Bulma using her dragon radar to locate the Dragon Balls. They're also hot-headed figures whose tempers tend to scare even their toughest friend and whose mighty fists and kicks can be used to knock sense into even the most stubborn pervert. Rodanoa, Zoro and Vegeta. The road of the shonen rival per second protagonist is a hard one. While far from being just a side character, their respective strengths and contributions to the series are often outclassed by the guys with the top billing. Not ones to slack off, however, both Rodanoa, Zoro and Vegeta are the epitome of hard work and edgy attitude within their groups. Vegeta is constantly training to one day surpass Goku. Zoro is rarely seen without his weight set, as he diligently strives to both protect his crew and become the world's greatest swordsman. Either have brought plenty of memorable content and battles to the series, and both cases are far from being neglected by the adoring fans. Monkey D. Luffy and Son Goku. Last but not least, the easiest parallel between the two series is the direct comparison between their shonen protagonists. Taking direct inspiration from Son Goku, Monkey D. Luffy is a black-haired innocent whose simple-minded hunger and childlike tendencies are only put away when he needs to defend his friends. The two have crossed paths a couple of times in manga and anime form, with either testing their strength and their stomachs against the seemingly endless ambition of the other. While time will only tell of who should truly reign supreme as the most iconic character, these two are equally working hard to entertain their fans.